I'm just waking up. Just walked out of the bedroom, and I come out here, and the symptoms start to multiply. And I turn the phone on, and I try to talk, and I don't know how rough I am. And I turn the camera on, and it's weird. You know, when you've been chronically ill, when you become chronically ill, no one teaches you about chronic illness, and no one teaches you how to be chronically ill. And every patient is different, right? And this is kind of weird. When you wake up, it's like all your brain starts to register all your symptoms. So that's weird, like you wake up and your symptoms start to multiply. Like I'll wake up, I don't know if it's like this for other people. I'll wake up, you know, my vision's getting all blurry. I come out here, it's brighter. My vision's blurry. The tinnitus is getting louder. I wake up in the bedroom, the pain, my brain starts to register the pain. All these, I feel like I'm staggering off of a battlefield. Just beaten to a pulp. I wanted to talk about doctors and minimizing and wanting to dismiss you. And I saw this specialist a couple days ago, and it's like, I was misdiagnosed. I had stuff misdiagnosed for more than 40 years, different things misdiagnosed. But, I go into these doctors, I go to see these doctors, and it's like it's their job to dismiss you, to minimize you, to make you believe that there's nothing wrong with you when there is. Like, why does medicine have that mentality? I always feel like I'm on trial. I'm not sick unless I'm not sick in a court of law until I prove that I'm sick. Um, and I understand that they need proof, but why does it feel like that? Like you're on trial? Why does it feel like you're the opposition? Why does it feel like you've got to walk in and you've got to fight and you've got to prove and you've got to convince? It's not like, it's not like these doctors are like, hi, how can I help you? I'm here to help you. We're on the same team. It's like, what are you trying to get out of me now? These are people that you've never met before. What are you trying to get out of me now? What are you going to try to convince me that you have that you don't? What kind of expensive tests are you trying to get out of me? What are you going to try to make me do? What kind of referrals are you going to try to make me give you that I don't want to give you? There's gatekeeping. And I understand that. I understand the whys of that. If you're not sick and you're pushing for testing for stuff that you don't have, I understand that. But why are you treated like, okay, you probably don't have this. You're probably delusional. Why are we treated this way? The other day I saw a specialist. What difference does it make? Why are they trying to convince you that you're not sick? What difference does it make if I walk out? If this guy walks out of the office and I am diagnosed with this medical condition and it's confirmed, what difference does it make to him or not whether I have this disease or this medical issue? Why would he not want me to have this? Like, the more aware you become, the more you notice how you're trying to be convinced that like like the effort put into being really engaging and personable and really warm and friendly and big smiles and telling me there's nothing wrong, and when I know there is. Like, when you become more aware of this, and maybe for a day I was he convinced me that I don't have blah blah blah. And you know last night I felt so aware of how sick I am, and it made me realize I actually was convinced for maybe a day, maybe he really tried to reassure me that I didn't have a certain issue, but they also don't offer alternatives. When you know something's wrong, they want you to think that there's nothing wrong. They don't offer alternatives. I go to bed and my shoulders are crushing me. Uh I became so aware, I've been aware of this for 8 years, but last night I'm just being crushed. I have to sleep on my side because I can't breathe on my back anymore. My shoulders are just crushing me, and both my hands will go numb. It's not from laying on them. And I keep waking up and I can't feel both my hands. I either can't feel the first three or the last two or the entire, usually it's the both entire hands. And I've been noticing lately one hand is, more pink or bordering on purple, and the other one isn't. So I'm noticing often, like getting out of the bathtub. I'm laying in the bathtub last night for about a half an hour, and I get out and I notice that one of my hands is darker than the other. So there's some kind of compression in the shoulder, and for 8 years now, I'm in bed and I'm sleeping with all these pillows. I thought, I feel like I'm not articulating myself. I feel like I'm not communicating well. When I was injured from a medication 8 years ago, it felt like, right where your arm connects to your body, if you push in deep, it felt like someone was cutting me with a knife on both sides. And right where your legs go into the sockets, it felt like I'm sitting on shards of bone in both those sockets. And ever since then, for 8 years, I go into bed and my body is drowning me. I lay on my side and the top leg is crushing the bottom leg, and the shoulder is crushing me. And I turn over and the other shoulder and other leg is crushing me. And I'm drowning in my body. Even awake, I'm drowning in my body. It's like there's 500 pounds on top of me. And I try to fall asleep at night, and my shoulders are crushing me. And I've got foam supports under trying to lift my arms up. Well, every minute of the night, I'm laying on my side, and I've got pillows to try to lift my arm up and pull the shoulder away from the body. It works a little bit, but my shoulders are still crushing me. My legs are still crushing me. I don't know what that is. I thought it was motor. I don't know. Like, I think things are being pinched, compressed. I don't think it's, they want it to be the most common thing, the easiest, most common thing, like carpal tunnel or whatever, which I don't, I think I have that as well, carpal, and the other one, what's the other one called? But I also think there's things happening higher up, but they don't want you to have the more complex, the more unusual stuff. All doctors aren't like that, but a lot of them are. And I feel like I'm so fatigued from being treated this way, walking in. It's not like they're on your side, it's like they're opposed and either smiling and you're playing this game. They're playing this game with you. It's like it's not like, hi, how are you? How can I help you? I'm on your side. I'm here to try to help you figure out what's wrong. It's not like that. It's like, what are you going to try to convince me that you have? Because you don't have it. You're delusional. No, you can't have that. That's too complicated. It's always been this way. Healthcare has always been this way. I've had stuff misdiagnosed for more than 40 years. Multiple things misdiagnosed for decades. I'm not your bloody enemy. I'm not your enemy. You're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to help us. Why do you present yourself like the enemy? And it's said in a very sweet, soft voice. There's and people fall for it because of the presentation. And the presentation is very strategic. They can be smiling away at you and talking in a really kind, sweet voice, and they're dismissing you. And you can fall for that because of the way it's presented to you. And you might leave discombobulated, and you believe their words for hours or a day or two until you realize, hell no, I've got this issue. I'm suffering. I remember one doctor wrapped his arm around me in a fatherly way, very kind, sweet man, wrapped his arm around me and walked me out of the whole length of this long office with his arm around me, very kind and sweetly telling me how hard my life is, and it's so hard to be a mom and a woman these days, and blah, blah, blah. Very sweet, very kind. And I knew he was 100% wrong. I knew 100% he was misdiagnosing me. And because of his misdiagnosis, I suffered for years. Because of the notes he wrote down, because he was a specialist, and other people believed his notes, I continued to suffer for years because this guy was misdiagnosing me. But the sweet presentation can totally throw you off, or throw your family off, or throw your friends off, and make everybody think that you're delusional when you're not. And in the end, I proved that I was right over and over again. It's maddening.